Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Emmy R. Bennett and this is Emmy's Creative Corner. It's been a long time since I did those cabochon eyes. You know, with the West Coast fires, live out here in California, and it's just set me back about 4 weeks. Well, I feel like I'm behind, but I wanted to show you this cabochon with the tray, and I plan on doing a bunch of those cabochons that I did in a video about, I don't know, it seems like ages ago, and how I had decorated these. And so if you missed that video, I'll link it in the description below. But here is one of those cabochons, and I am going to show you how I put this together. Stay tuned. I'm going to make cabochon necklaces with trays and cabochon dragon eye. As you can see, I have 20 cabochon, and then I have one that looks like it's stuck together. Yes, it's stuck together. One thing to watch out for is when you go to cure your cabochons, you want to make sure that you use Mod Podge, and you can see they are nicely stuck together. This is one cabochon that was stuck together, and you can see it's got a hole in it, and so I'm gonna have to fix that. And there are several of them. I am going to repaint the backs of these really fast, and then we will come back over here and I will put together this one with a tray. Before I put this on the tray, I wanted to show you this right here. Let's see if it'll focus. There we go. See, that is dried nail polish, and it keeps not wanting to focus. So I am going to use a Q-tip and clean that up, and then after I do that, I will put it on a tray that has resin in it. As you can see, I have Mod Podge and I have a sponged brush, and I'm going to brush the back of the cabochon with Mod Podge, and then I'm going to let it dry. Today I will attach these cabochons to the trays with resin. I hope that you can hear me. I am wearing a mask, and I'm going to put on some gloves so that I am kept protected here with the chemicals. So I am not affiliated with any of these products that I'm using today, but I did want to tell you I am using Dr. Crafty. I have put these in warm water to warm them up a little bit. Apparently when you're using resin you want to have it warm, otherwise they'll form a lot of bubbles. This is my first time working with resin, so I've never done this before, so you are watching me use resin for the very first time. I'm no expert, and I'm sure I'm going to make some mistakes here. So first, I know that it's going to be a 1-to-1 ratio. So I've got these little cups, and when I ordered them, that's what they came in. I am going to start by pouring in my, I guess it doesn't matter what order, but I'm going to do the resin first, and I'm going to pour in 1 cup, pour in 1 cup resin, and I'm going to do up to 20. Now I'm probably using way too much to do for these trays, so I have a set aside doing some bookmarks. So we'll see. And then the hardener, I will be doing up to 20. Oop. Take off the seal first, would help. Okay. And put the caps back on. I have my cabochon right over here, so I'm going to pour in them together. I'm going to use a stick, and what's really cool is when I got this, they also supplied me with sticks, which was nice. I already had some on hand, but you want to get as much of the resin in with the hardener as much as possible, because it goes on almost an exact amount. So I'm trying to get it all in there. I also have my windows open, so you may hear on the video birds chirping, cars going by. So now I'm supposed to stir this for 3 minutes. Supposed to stir it slowly. Hoping my head is not getting in the way. I also read that if it is too cold, that it could get cloudy in the mixture. And you want to do it in a warm area. Now it is kind of crisp here in California right now, so I don't know how this will turn out. It's supposed to warm up today later though. Although up here in the attic in my writing space, it is kind of warm. I have been wanting to do this for over a month now. I've had these supplies for a while, but when we got all those fires, it got round 1 and round 2 here in the West Coast, that it kind of set me back. It set me back a while. I was planning on already publishing my book, The Fairy Mermaid and the Crystal Key, and that of course isn't going to get published now until October 22nd. So that we finally have a date. for that, but I wanted to publish that the 1st of October, and of course my 4th book, Winter's Fury, was supposed to be published this year, but that of course isn't going to happen. That's not going to happen until next year now. I've noticed that this is clearing up and there's not a lot of bubbles I can see, so hopefully I'm doing this right. My 3 minutes are almost up. I've got about 1 more minute to go. I have the mixture all ready, and I have my cabochon. So I'm going to take my resin and I'm going to start putting it in here. I don't want to pour it in. Number one, I've been doing some research on resin, and when you pour it in, many other people have found that it causes bubbles. So I'm going to just drip it in. And with this, I don't want it to go over the side like it just did, but I don't want it to bevel, because if it bevels, then it's going to drip over the side. I think that that's all I'm going to need now. Let it just go right to the top. I think we're good. So I won't know until tomorrow if this worked. I know that there was a little bit of resin on the side here, but I don't know how I'm going to be able to clean that up. Try picking some of that up on the side. Alright, moment of truth, right? Will it work? Well, I picked it up for a moment there and resin was on the cabochons, so it might have worked. So I'm going to let it just sit there, and we'll check it overnight and see how solid that is. So I'm going to try the rest of these cabochons and see which ones will work and which ones won't. Okay, so here's what I did with the rest of my resin. I did make a whole lot of resin. So I used a blue alcohol ink. I'll link in the description below what I have. I can show you what I used. I used, and I'm not affiliated with them at all, but I used this, and I got it at Michael's. And I bought the bookmarks online on Amazon. I'll also put a link below so that you can see where I got those, the molds. But I made a couple mistakes. Number one mistake I made was I accidentally put in 2 drops of alcohol ink, which made it really, really dark, a lot darker than I wanted, and I didn't mean to put 2 drops in. It just kind of happened that they both fell in almost at the same time. I also used glitter. That wasn't a mistake. I actually loved that. But the second mistake is I used the cups that the resin came in, these cups, and one is for your hardener and one is for your resin. I think next time what I'm going to do is just get an extra cup and leave these just specifically for one resin and one for the hardener, because when I was running out of time, the container inside, the stuff that's in the container that was left over, I had a really hard time trying to clean this, and it was hardening as I was cleaning it. I used baby wipes and it turned out fine, but for next time I think I'm going to just combine the 2 into another cup and do it that way. But this is kind of how they turned out. There is a little bit of bubbling. I tried taking the lighter to it, but I was burning my finger, so you know, this is my first time, trial and error, but I am excited to see how these turn out, and hopefully everything will go as planned. The cabochons turned out to be okay as well, and tomorrow I will show you the results for you just a couple seconds. So it's the next morning, and they haven't quite cured all the way yet. If you can see, it's a little bendy, and they shouldn't be. So I'm going to let them sit today. I will say, though, this particular one didn't have this hole right here. And because it was still a little flexible, I took an awl and I poked the rest of the way through while it was still a little bit flexible. I don't think that I would have been able to be as successful if it was completely cured. So I took that opportunity to do that now. I will check later on today to see how well these turned out. It is day 2 of my bookmarks here that have sitting trying to cure, and these 2 don't feel like they are done. This one does, though. This one here is pretty solid and I can't bend it, but these 2, this one still bendy, see how it bends? And then this one is still kind of bendy, but I'm still going to take them out and I'm going to let them kind of cure outside the molds. So I'm going to try this one first. This one didn't have a hole and it was covered, and I used an awl. I used one of these to poke through the hole, so I'll take it out. And so I just used one of these and I just kind of poked through the hole right there. So there it is, and it didn't complete here, so there's a little bit of bubbles right there, which is fine. I mean, I was going to use it just as a practice run, so probably give this to my daughter and she can use this as she's currently reading The Fairy Mermaid. So let's try this one. He's cute. Look at that. There's even a little lip in there for the whale detail. And ironically, I didn't plan this, but ironically, there's some glitter there that kind of makes an eye indent. I noticed that it's beveled a little bit here, but it's not here, and I didn't get enough resin over here. So I guess for future resin projects, I'll know that I'm going to want to have it beveled. So this is still a little flimsy, so I know it's not completely cured yet, so I'm just going to lay it there. And then we have a really long bookmark. And this one's almost done, but it's still a little bendy. I imagine I did get the ingredients or the 1:1 ratio right, because this one doesn't bend. This one still bends a little bit, so I'll just keep it there, letting it kind of wait. But this one, it doesn't bend. So that one I think is ready. On to the cabochons. So the cabochon turned out pretty good, I would say. It doesn't come off, so I am happy with that. Actually, I think this is the one that we were working on. This one. That was the one that we were originally working on. So apparently I have two that are very similar. But I like how it turned out. So I think the next video on these cabochons will be working with necklaces. I have cotton, I think it's cotton blend of some sort for the chain part. I didn't want to use metal because sometimes metal changes your neck color, skin. Some people are sensitive to that, so I used a natural product. So this is a cotton wax blend type of product, and so in my future video I'll show you what I did there. I also got jewelry, so here are some jump chains and some claw clasps that I'm going to use for that. And then these are the clamps that will clamp down on the fabric material, and I'll connect everything, and we will make that in a future video very soon. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please hit the like button and subscribe. I post videos every Friday. So until next time, I hope you have a fabulous weekend, and I'll see you around. Bye.